afternoon, or good evening, rather. If you're seeing this, this is for you. This evening, I just want to talk about a few things that are weighing on my mind, and one of them being the strength of the American youth. The youth of America today are in a a tilting point, or in a balance that can be tilted one way or another. You're either on the verge of a turning point, or you're on the verge of staying in the direction you're going. But as a fellow American youth, I think I need to point out that where you are right now, where we are right now, as the youth of as the youth of America, excuse me, we're at a point to where we can go on a downward spiral, or we can go on an upward spiral. It is our choice as the youth of America. Um, good, good evening, Mark. Um, but what I want to talk about really is, and I've made quite a few videos of this in the past few days. Um, Charlie Kirk, rest in peace. My day's all right. Um, Charlie Kirk, in case you've been living under a rock for the past few days, Charlie Kirk was murdered this week at an event that he was hosting, right in front of his wife and children. He was assassinated while he was trying to better the youth of America. And this week we the youth of America lost a very important influence and a very important voice. Uh, but it's happened, it's done. We can't bring him back. But what we can do is try to do what he would have us to do, to be good youth of America. He would want us, as young Americans, to step forward and do the right thing. He would want us to push to be the best us that we could be. That is our duty to our fellow Americans, to our fellow youth, is in the face of adversity to push and be the absolute best that we can be, to, to suffer affliction and come out better because of it. It is our duty as the youth of America to not be selfish, but to reach out and always be willing to lend a hand, even when it's inconvenient. Sometimes, whenever you're carrying a load, just for an example, if you're helping your grandmother carry her groceries in into the house after a day of shopping. Your hands are full, and she's not able to open the door. It's a hard thing for you to stretch out and open the door sometimes, but you do it because that's the decency in you, is that you want to help somebody around you who's not able to help themselves. And as Americans, as the youth of America, I believe that principle should be in our minds and just in our conscience in everything we do. As youth of Americans, we need to realize that we are the next line of leadership. We're the next line of defense for this country. We are the next rulers of this country, leaders, the next backbone, the next workforce, the next group of teachers. We, the youth of America, are the next of what runs America right now. As youth, everything has evolved around us as youth. From the time we were born to the point we're grown, everything has revolved around us. And now it's time for capable youth of America to stop having everything revolve around them and start revolving around somebody else, part of a greater purpose, what we're called to do and what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to better our country. It's not what our country can do for us, but it's what we can do for our country and for our fellow man. When you wake up in the mornings, take for example, going to school. You wake up in the mornings, going to school. In the moment, it seems like it's about you and about your education. But you go into school to get an education. That way, you are more than capable when you enter the adult society. You're able to obtain a job and to hold down a job. You're able to keep work. Those are important things. It don't seem like that while you're in school, but that's part of the process of making sure that you stop having everything revolve around you and you start revolving around somebody else, because you're shaping somebody else's future. You don't realize that right now, but the choices you make right now are not just shaping your future. They're shaping your bloodline's future. They're shaping the future of the younger people than you. They're shaping the future of the people around you that are younger than you. Your choices right now that you make as a youth are very, very important to your future and to somebody else's future. You will always affect more than you. Every choice you make. As an American youth growing up, I didn't always understand everything that happened in my life. I thought things were supposed to revolve around me. I was a typical American kid. I thought we were supposed to get a candy bar at the store when I wanted one and only when I wanted one. Well, that didn't happen. And it's a good thing it didn't happen, because I'd be a spoiled individual and I would probably not fit into the American society. That's part of good training, is to not have everybody conform to you. If you have people in your life that are always bending to your will and always conforming to you, chances are you may not be right now, but in the future, not if, but when, you will be a miserable person because you're so used to people bending to your will and bending to your way. And whenever you hit the adult world, and if you're lucky enough to obtain a job, always having things your way is you're going to have a shock to your system. Never in my life would I have thought I seen the day people were, this is a little off topic, but never would I have thought I seen the day where people were celebrating the death of a man that died right in front of his wife and kids. Yet it happened. It's happening right now. People are celebrating the death of a man that was killed right in front of his wife and 2 children. No, I would have never thought people would set up a GoFundMe for the killer, and not just him, not just that killer, but another killer just in this past week. A man who killed an innocent woman on a train or on a subway. I've seen where a GoFundMe has been set up for the killer of that Ukrainian woman on the subway. I've seen where a GoFundMe has been set up for Tyler Robinson, the assassinator of Charlie Kirk. And I don't know about anybody watching this, but that just don't sit right. Whenever I was growing up, that Tyler Robinson, as soon as he was caught, he would have been lucky to have left where he was still standing. Good evening, Sean. I see somebody has voted in my poll that they do not believe that they matter in shaping America. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, with that attitude, whether you think it or not, you are responsible for shaping America. Every single person in America is responsible for shaping America, whether you realize it or not. Our bodies are made up of so many small moving parts. Take, for example, my pinky finger. If I rip my pinky fingernail off, it affects my entire body. I feel pain in this finger, but the whole rest of my body, anytime something flies my way, I'm going to turn my legs, I'm going to turn my whole body to avoid taking injury to this pinky. So whoever said that they don't believe that they matter in shaping America, I heavily suggest, strongly advise that you take a look in the mirror and say, hey, with this attitude, I am shaping America. Because if you don't believe that you matter in America, and you just carry on with your everyday life uncaring, believing you don't make a difference, then you're making a difference, just not in the right way. But you need to wake up in the mornings and say, I make a difference in this country I live in. You need to wake up in the mornings and say that you need to say, before this day is over, there will be results based upon my actions. That's the power. That's scientific law, is what that is. If you paid attention halfway in school, you know that there is an equal and opposite reaction to a force. I'm not sure if I'm quoting that right. I'm not no heavy science student, but I do remember that from science class. So what you do does matter. Every action you take will have a result that will in some way equal that energy that you put in. I'm going to step inside because it's getting dark now. I will set up camp inside. Y'all bear with me. But my message to the youth of America is that I want you to strive to be the best you can be. My message to the youth of America is that I want you to be the strongest, most capable most fierce Americans, most fierce youth that you could ever be. We're at a point in America to where our men have gone soft. Very, very soft. I hate to even say that, but it's just a fact. Our numbers are down. You have less requirements to enter into the military now than we've ever had before. Americans are weak. Americans are not what they were. I hate it. I hate it with a passion. I wish that Americans were as determined as they once were. For example, I work in the oil field. There are things that I do that I consider myself strong. I consider myself to be the man. Until I hear some of the old timers talking about the men before me and what they could do, the things they could pick up, the things they could move. And I can't even come close to matching the strength that these men have had whenever they were my age. Men picking up things that were 2 and 3 times heavier than I was. I can't match that, and it's a shame. I should be able to match it. But that just proves what I'm saying. We as Americans are softer than we've ever been. Our men are softer than they've ever been. We're not a strong people anymore. We have a strong arsenal of military, but we're not strong men. And it's a shame. I hope that every youth watching this will self-reflect, will realize that you need a backbone behind you, that you're allowed to think for yourself in this country. That's the most important, is that you are allowed to think and you are allowed to speak for yourself. That is your First Amendment right. That is your God-given right. You are allowed to say whatever you want to say. Can it get you in trouble in some places? Sure. But in this country, our First Amendment says you can say whatever you want to say. Not in those words, but that's what it means. The power of speech is yours. Say what you want to say. Be what you want to be. But be good. Be morally good. Be morally strong, most of all. This world lacks morals. The American youth lack morals. I will tell a story of my great-grandfather. And this would shock the audience listening. But in high school, my great-grandfather and a lot of his high school friends, they were all seniors in high school. Well, at the high school they were at, they caught wind that the principal of the school, a male principal, was having an affair with the librarian. The football coach found out about it and confronted him about it, and the principal of the school fired the football coach. My great-grandfather and the rest of his senior friends that night put chains and locks all over that school. They locked every door and put boards up over the windows. So when everyone got to school the next morning, no one could go inside, and they wanted to know what was up. And my great-grandfather and the other seniors said, "We are not going to school. We are shutting this school down until you hire our football coach back and you fire this principal and this librarian for having relations on school grounds." And sure enough, it rocked on there for a few days, and that's exactly what happened. They fired the principal and the library. You don't hear about stuff like that anymore. You do, but you don't hear about you don't hear about the youth of America stepping in and saying, "No, not on my school, not on my watch." I mean, that's a very true story. I've heard it from my great grandfather and from graduating members of his class told me the same story as a boy growing up. Um, but you don't hear about that kind of thing anymore. It don't happen, and it's a shame because it should happen. Back when the youth of America actually cared about the well-being of their city, their town, their county, their parish, their country. And I don't believe that every American youth is not worried about the good of America. I would like to believe that there are a growing number of American youth that still believe in this country, that still believe they can make a difference because you, as the American youth, me, as the American youth, we make a difference in this country. We can and we will. We do. Every day that we choose to wake up and the choices that we make throughout that day, whether they be good or bad, are help shaping America, whether it's for the good or the bad. That is what we as the American youth are doing. Every decision you make is shaping this country, whether you realize it or not, no matter how small or minute. Every smile that you give whenever you walk into your local gas station, every handshake when you go into the hardware store, men, you're making a difference in your country and your community because you're keeping the morals up, you're keeping the spirits up. Whenever you stop having those type of interactions on the street and just in general, well, that's when things get just, it's funny how it works. Things get a little hectic. And it never has made sense to me, but when you stop talking to people, people just get a little ruder than what they would normally be. I hate that, but it is the truth. But if I could say anything definite, I want the youth of America to know that you can make a difference. You do make a difference in this country. Whether it's good or bad, it's your choice. Whether you even mean to or not, you make a difference to this country. I'm fixing to end this live stream, and I'm fixing to go a different route. But if you feel like this has been for you, drop a follow because I will be posting more about the youth of America and trying to help and encourage the youth of America. I'll be ending this stream, and this stream will be public. Most of my streams I turn private, but this one will be public along the past few that I've done. Anyhow, for those of you signing off after this, good night, and God bless you. God bless the USA.